Hey, how you doing, y'all? I wanted to provide some value before I share my goals, and I can tell you this. I think in order for all of us to become more disciplined, we have to do what the church has been calling lately. It's like a little buzzword in church lately called deconstruction. And we have to ask ourselves, how did we become the people that we are? And I had to ask myself, as I jokingly to you all call myself the most undisciplined man in the world, I have to ask myself, okay, how did you become an undisciplined person? How did all of this unravel? How did you get to the point where you were at? And once you look at the key points of how you got that way, then you can begin to deconstruct the parts of your life that need to be re-examined, reevaluated, and potentially even destroyed. So, yeah, and I even hesitate to share my deconstruction because a lot of it, I don't want it to sound like I'm dishonoring my parents or blaming things on my parents, but I did grow up in a certain environment where my father was 49 years old, and he had been through 3 wars, and I believe he had his time of being highly disciplined in the military, and he married a wonderful Christian woman who is a great human being, but wasn't the most disciplined person in the world. And they had kids, they had a kid in his senior years, he was 49, and they had their own issues and problems. And with that division, I did not grow up, even though I grew up in a home with a mother and a father, I did not grow up in a home that had the structure and the teamwork that is conducive to children being raised well. So the little bit of success I have had in life came from the military, the influence of my wife, and primarily the influence of the church. And I've had to do some deconstruction because even though I've had my wife, my church, and the military have some influence on me, I still was raised, in that home. And I have to break the patterns of that home. So, I share that, and I share my fallibilities so that perhaps you can do some deconstruction. If you listen to this channel, that means at some point or some portion of your life, you're undisciplined. And in order to really get to the causal root, you have to ask yourself, how did I get there? How did I get there? Because it can be a deeply rooted behavior, and we have to really ask ourselves, how did we get there? So the key word for today is deconstruction. And I can tell y'all, yesterday was a train wreck. I had a rough day on the job, and then I kind of got a little emotionally hijacked on the job, and then got stuck in a lot of traffic. And I'm not gonna even go goal by goal because I don't think I got much done. The only thing I did is I stuck to my diet. That was about it. Only got 7,000 steps in. I ain't get much else done. So yesterday was a train wreck, but today is gonna be better. I've already done a solid 7 hours of work. I want to give them another 90 minutes before midnight. The goal as well today is, I've already finished eating for the day. I'm within my 2,500 calories. stay within a 4-hour window. But for the rest of this day, I want to go and do my bench press and get my 10,000 steps in and get my sauna in. And when I go home, get my 90 minutes of extra work from my job in and get to bed by midnight. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I ain't getting to bed by 11 p.m. tonight. It ain't happening. There's too much to do. But at least the positive side is this. In the midst of it all, even though I got emotionally hijacked on the job yesterday, I did not break down and I stayed consistent with my diet. So that's the silver lining. But the key word of today is deconstruction. We have to deconstruct the areas of our lives that are undisciplined so that we can truly dig up those old roots of bad behavior and pull them out. Like the old hip hop song, pull them out, pull them out. So we got to pull out all of that negative stuff so that we can plant new trees. And that's what I'm doing with this podcast or with this video and this new habit of mine. I'm putting down new trees. I love you all, and God bless you, and God bless your deconstruction. Peace.